Are you someone who has a lot of difficulty in achieving a task or getting the results you want, living the life of your dreams? There might be a reason for that, and I like to think of it as people think that they can live two lives. There's the first life, which is relaxing and, having a beer on the weekend, sitting down, watching a movie, things like that. And then there's the second life, which is more things like looking at learning, self-improvement, developing yourself. And honestly, we know which life our dreams are attached to. They're definitely attached to that second life, to the achieving and the doing things. But a lot of us are stuck in our first life. We keep going back to our first life because it's comfortable, because it's relaxing, because our brain knows how to do that. Our brain knows what it's been doing for many years on that aspect. The problem is that we don't have two lives. We have one. We only have one life to live, one chance to live it. It's easy to understand why we fall back into the first life a lot. The instant gratification, the easy reward, the easy way out, so to speak. And we've rewired, well, we haven't rewired, sorry, we need to do some rewiring. We've wired our brains over many years to think that way, to think that we retire having a beer, watching a movie, things that aren't necessarily productive for us, sitting on the couch. We tie those into real dopamine because that's what our brain is getting. We're getting dopamine at the time we do those things. The only problem is that if you want to achieve more in this life, you can't keep doing those same things. There's two lives. There's that first life and the second life. The second life, the life of achieving, the life of actually working towards and getting your dream, that life requires more. I used to think that there could be balance, that there was, I could do achieving the dream half the week, I could relax half the week, or something like that. It doesn't work out that way, and that is a hard truth. But if it wasn't a hard truth, we'd all be achieving this dream life that we're chasing. But how can we expect to rewire our life when we're unwilling to rewire our brain? And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take rewiring your brain, rewiring these thoughts of having a beer, sitting down to relax. I know I keep coming back to having a beer, but it's just an easy one. Having a beer, sitting down to relax. How can we rewire our brain not to think these things are bad, but to think different things, real dopamine things, things like getting in the sauna, getting in the sunlight, going for a walk, getting out in nature? How can we rewire our brain to think that these things are good and these things are healthy for us and that we enjoy doing these things? Because that's what's important. That's the distinction. That's the big change. That's how we swap over from thinking we have two lives to knowing we only have one life and being satisfied with living that one life. Because we can't be satisfied with productivity all the time and working hard. That's just not how it works. But if we can rewire the good things, rewire the rewards, well then that's how we can go beyond and go further and start achieving more. That's how we can both get that relaxing and that dreaming done at the same time, and how we can have one life instead of the two lives that we think we have. We need to rewire our brain to rewire our life.